You're listening to Convenience Matters, brought to you by NACS. We'll talk about what we see at stores and what the future may hold for our industry.
We talk a lot about the importance of being local, and that's particularly true in rural areas. Today, we're going to just talk about how you can feel local, and be trusted in your neighborhood. According to a study by Uberall that was put out recently, 88% of consumers think it's important to trust businesses that they transact with, and local businesses are ranked as the most trusted. We're going to talk about the whole dynamic of how local and trust work together to grow your sales and grow your businesses today. And joining us for this conversation is Akhtar Hussain. He's Director of Refined Fuels Marketing with CHS, and he's been on the show a few times. So welcome back, Akhtar.
Thank you. It's great to be here this morning.
So we've talked a couple times, but for those who are not familiar with you, you want to kind of go through a little bit your background and what's going on at Cenex and CHS.
Yeah, I work at CHS as a Director of Marketing for Fuels, as you mentioned. I've been at CHS for about just under 20 years now. And for those that are unaware, CHS is the nation's largest farmer-owned cooperative focusing on really all elements of the agriculture sector. And, how does that relate into retail fueling? Well, part of the resources that we help provide our end users is in the form of energy. We have two refineries, one in McPherson, Kansas, and one in Laurel, Montana. And we market those fuel products through the Cenex brand, which is represented at 1,400 retail locations across 19 states. Right now, we are in the middle of a 4-year initiative called LIFT, which stands for Lighting, Image, and Facility Transformation. It's really a two-pronged program. One focuses on refreshing and modernizing our forecourt image. We have a brand new image that we call Halo, and we've been working for about 3 years now to really transform the network from our previous image into this new Halo image. The Halo image just accentuates our canopies with LED lighting, really modernizes the look, and again, just brightens things up for the consumer. The second part of this LIFT initiative would be our focus on improving the in-store experience for consumers. And what we've done was within CHS, we've partnered with CHS Capital to provide subsidized interest loans for eligible in-store improvements. And so again, about 3 years into this project, which is ends in the end of this year, so it's a 4-year term all in all, and really excited to see the sort of transformational work both inside the stores and outside in the forecourt.
When we first started talking about what you do on the community level and what the company does in refreshing, I love that word, refreshing, brand image through the LIFT program, it was right around the time that the pandemic really dug in and affected everything we do. Yet over the last few years, you're in 3 years out of 4 years now in terms of this 4-year journey. You stayed the course. Did you notice anything different? The importance, I suppose, if you will, of staying the course, even though times change, because you focus on the important things: community, trust, a brand image that is both forward-looking and also fits in the current times. Were there any lessons like that you noticed in keeping this going and staying on the path?
It certainly was difficult timing. I guess I'd say it like that. We had been working on rolling this out for about 24 months before the announcement. And obviously tons of work and, budget approvals and work on the image design and work on the vendors we're going to use to bring this to life and the communications and all of those things, right? There was a huge ramp up. And then all of a sudden, essentially the world stopped spinning. Everybody's at home. Businesses are closed. You know, not for nothing, it's been the biggest impact to domestic energy sales in the history of really the country. So there were a lot of forces against right at the time that we were going to unleash this thing. But in talking both internally and talking with our customers, we really felt that we needed to push on. We needed to continue this work because, number one, the communities and our customers out there, they really were looking for something like this. And for us, you know, we needed to make these improvements in our network, and understanding that, you know, the wind was against not just our sales, but everyone's sales that were in the convenience market or mostly in the energy market, right? We wanted to come out of whatever this pandemic was with strength, with the wind at our back. And I feel like that's what we've accomplished. I don't know that we totally had a great looking forecast for how we were going to come out of this. But I will say that, you know, almost reaching 2024 here and the success that we've had with this program, we know we made the right choice. And partnering with our businesses in local communities when they were faced with the adversity they were faced with, I think bode well for our partnerships and for our relationships. At the same time, when others were sort of pulling back and scratching their heads and weren't quite so sure what the future was going to hold, we met our customers where they were in the communities that they serve and really worked together through this program to deliver the solutions that best fit each individual store and each individual community.
When you can usually tell when a program's built well, when it can survive, thrive, if you will, during periods of extreme uncertainty, and come out of it and still be successful. And that's clearly what we're talking about here. I think if you look at it, though, community has always been important. Local's always been important. The word trust is, I think, a word that has emerged the last few years that has taken on just a higher level of meaning. People really expect trust now after coming out of the last few years. The LIFT program allows retailers to tell their story about local, tell their story about community, and really pull in that whole story about trust that is really essential to business today.
I couldn't agree more, Jeff. I think that when we look at it from our perspective, we really need trust to occur at two levels. We need our retailers and our fuel distributors to trust us that we are providing the solutions that help them steer their business in the right direction, that we're flexible in the ways that the nature of our business requires flexibility, and that we're coming with an array of solutions that allow the variability for the locality of these communications to really shine, right? Mm-hmm. We aren't a convenience retailer that has one or two different size boxes, and then we go in throughout the country and just kind of put our footprint inside of those. We are in different geographies, different locations, different types of communities, from very rural communities to very large suburban communities. So we knew we couldn't take a one size fits all approach to this program, and that demonstration of trust that we were able to foster with our direct customers, our retailers, that just allows us to further demonstrate that trust and have that go further down the chain to the consumer level. When we have a high level of trust developed between our business partners, our fuel distributors, and our fuel retailers, that really gets trickled down to the the experience that our consumers get when they visit one of our Cenex stores. And it's been a partnership that has really served us well.
We're nearing the end of the year. We have a month and a half left in the year. And I want to break this in two different sections. So we have a month and a half left in the year. Let's look at it from the retailer perspective first. We've talked about coming out of the NAC show. People oftentimes look at the NAC show as, okay, that's the jumpstart for a lot of strategic discussions that happen after that. What you see on the show floor, what you hear in education sessions, what can you do to change your business? So here we are, just a 6-8 weeks left in the year. What should retailers be thinking about for the next couple weeks or looking into 2024 in how do they play a role in their communities, and what might they do?
Well, I mean, I think this idea of local businesses is what has transformed the thought process, and the consideration of what local means has really evolved coming out of the pandemic. I think that local community members saw the impact of the closures and of the shutdowns and what that meant to people living in their community. And I think that it has maybe readjusted or recalibrated the importance of local to those consumers. And so, being local certainly matters. Giving back to community certainly matters to our consumers, but not at the expense of safety and cleanliness and experience at the C-store. So I think that's maybe why the timing of this program fits so well, because at the same time that we felt this shift in paradigm of consumers at the local level really favoring their local businesses, we were out there improving those local businesses in very significant ways. So I would say to those out there that are considering, hey, look, it's the end of the year. What am I going to put into my CapEx budgets for calendar 24? I would say, really take a look around your community, look at what businesses are there, what businesses have left, what gaps in consumer needs that your community may be facing, and look towards adjusting your offering or improving your physical asset around those areas of opportunity. Again, we understand that every community is unique. The businesses within those communities are unique. And consumers have changed what they go to convenience stores to purchase. That has been a big evolution coming out of the pandemic. It was one of the only businesses that was regularly open. And so the relationship with those local convenience stores has changed. We need to make sure that the plans we have for future-proofing, for investing in our convenience store assets matches that consumer expectation. And so, the Cenex brand is very happy to continue our in-store loan program out beyond the end of our 4-year LIFT initiative for just this reason. We opened this window over 4 years, but we know that timing wasn't right for everybody. While the forecourt improvement program will come to a close at the end of 4 years, and all of the Cenex locations will have been upgraded to the new Halo image, that in-store loan program is going to continue. So for those within the Cenex audience, or for those that are considering joining the Cenex family, just understand that CHS and the Cenex brand is committed to offering this program and really helping you work through those investment decisions.
So I said I was going to break apart it's the end of the year discussion into two elements. That we covered the one. The other one is, this is the time of the year where people are out and about, not like it's summertime where they're just hanging out more, but they're doing longer drives. We have Thanksgiving, and then we have the holidays in December. And so people will be on the road, and they'll be stopping for fuel, maybe places that they didn't normally stop at. They'll be stopping at to get coffee at places that they may not have stopped by regularly. So when you talk about updating an image and rebranding, particularly at the forecourt, lighting, all those ways to be attractive, this is really the time for stores that have gone through a refresh to shine and to allow people to say, hey, I haven't really noticed what's been going on here. I need to check this out because they're on the road, and it's a new way to bring in those local customers, or local could be on that way that you're going 100 miles or so to grandma's or wherever.
Yeah, and that's a big part of what our strategy here is at Cenex to really get the word out that the network has been refreshed, to give our local marketers the tools they need to help get this word out on a local level as well. And so, that is why we have the partnerships that we do, and that is why we really work with our local communities for them to custom tailor advertisements, community announcements, help put on grand reopening sorts of community events, so that we can welcome the community into these investment or these assets that have been recently invested in. The whole sole purpose of these investments, and why the Cenex Retail Network chooses to engage with CHS and perform these investments, is to serve the local communities. We are improving our assets out there so that those local community members have a nice place to go, a good store to visit, a safe store for the younger members of their family to go into. And so the whole point of this investment was to improve local communities, to invest in those local communities, and to have the Cenex brand be that trusted partner that our community members can depend on.
So it's really telling that community story throughout. It's once a store joins the program, it is going through the process. It is just continually saying, we are here for the community. We create jobs. We pay taxes. Most of all, we care about the community. And that's something that NACS surveys have shown. Just the difference in a consumer survey. We asked a simple questions. Would you support a store more if they did this, 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 this? One thing we asked is if you made charitable donations, and that scored pretty well. But what scored double that is if you care about the community. And that's really, really hard to check a box on. You can't say, well, I do this, so therefore I care about the community. It's got to be something that the community sees and the community believes, and that is a continual process. It's not a singular press release or an announcement. It's doing what you have been talking about, that everything you do is about the community, and the store supports the community. And that's when they start really identifying with that message and saying, that's the store I want to go to.
Yeah, it has to be about a demonstration of community support. The dollars are nice, and obviously it takes a certain amount of dollars to make an impact, but how do you take those dollars and demonstrate that they're going towards community improvement and giving back to those communities? The Cenex brand is very local, as we've talked a lot about, with 1,400 locations across 19 states. And the LIFT initiative was just one way that we tried to demonstrate our commitment to those local communities. We do have grant programs that support local communities. We've given over $500,000 to those programs. They've helped fund more than 80 community projects, including improving aging community baseball fields, providing athletic workshops in schools, supporting local food shelters, and all kinds of things in between. This year, we launched a brand new program called Hometown Throwdown, which is going to be largely broadcast through social media, and it's going to encourage local community members to share what makes their hometown festivals unique. So this is more of a fun way that we understand that most local communities have a festival, right? And over time, sometimes those festivals could use some work. Either way, we know that the community rallies around these and has fun. And so this is another sort of reach into that community to see, again, how can we demonstrate that we understand what the local needs are, and through this Hometown Throwdown program, have a little bit of fun with it. The entry period is going to extend through December 15th. We will announce 3 finalists April of 2024, and in May of 24, we will be announcing who receives the prize. The prize is $100,000 to bringing that local celebration to life in these communities. So again, if there's more information from anyone listening, they want to find out how they can engage with the Cenex Hometown Throwdown, they can visit us at cenexhometownThrowdown.com.
The Hometown Throwdown seems to be a really awesome idea for anyone who lives in a small community town. There's all these festivals, whether it's celebrating food, whether it's celebrating a specific holiday, but they're really the glue that brings towns together. And that's a really cool way to instill loyalty. The people that organize these programs, they're committed to the community. And when you show that you're committed to the people who are committed to the community, there's the glue right there. That's the things that keep these small towns going and growing, if you will.
Yeah, I think that, the idea behind this was, again, part of that demonstration of community support. And there are a lot of different ways where organizations can give money and get that money back into communities. But, with the Cenex brand being such a community focus and really the ability to demonstrate that we really care about the communities that we serve and we want them to thrive, connecting with these hometown festivals is just another way that we can demonstrate our commitment, not just in dollars, but in being there and sharing in these experiences and working with the local community members to make these events even better than they already are.
So there's the Hometown Throwdown and all these other cool things you're working on right now. Anything else going on that we didn't talk about that's coming up for you guys? And how can retailers learn more if they want to find out about these things we've talked about and things that may be on the horizon?
Well, as nice as it would be for us to take a breath here after our 4 years of the LIFT initiative and going out there and transforming 1,400 locations from a forecourt perspective, we're not slowing down. We are going to continue to look for unique ways to partner with current and future Cenex branded C-stores and continue to beat the drum of in-store loan program and the importance of making investments in the assets. We're going to continue to tell our stories of success as these renovations are completed and take a look at maybe a deeper look at the impact that these investments have made in the communities. And so I think the ask here, if you're part of the Cenex brand family, please work with us if you haven't already in exploring some of these programs a little more deeply. But if you are not in the Cenex brand family and are considering joining, we want to talk to you. So please visit us at cenex.com/lift. That is CENEX.com/lift. Find more out about the brand and contact us. We will reach back out to you. We want to meet you and we want to have these conversations and see if you can't bring the Cenex brand into your local community.
We've talked about on this program plenty of times that retail is really storytelling. And we heard today just the importance of telling your story in what you mean to communities, in what you sell, how you build your stores, and then ultimately how you celebrate community. So thank you once again for joining us today, Akhtar. Gave a lot of things that people should be thinking about as we end the last 2 months of 2023 and we start new journeys in 2024.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today.
And thank you all for listening to Convenience Matters.
Convenience Matters is brought to you by NACS and produced in partnership with Human Factor. For more information, visit convenience.org.